Greetings, owners of fine luxury digital rectangles. Well, kids, it's Sunday, so you know what that means. It's time for another Market Watch. Today is April 27th, 2025, and this is episode number 34 of the Splinterlands Market Watch. Today we're going to be looking at cards, at tokens, at pack prices. There's a lot to talk about, especially with some of the tokens, so let's get started. So speaking of tokens, SPS has come down a little bit in the last week from its high. Earlier in the week, it was up to 1.4 cents. Currently, it is still holding above a penny at 1.02 cents. Vouchers are just under a penny and a half each, down from where they were a couple weeks ago at 1.8. Now we're down to just under 1.5 cents for vouchers. And DEC continues to be very strong, very, very close to peg. It has hit peg off and on over the last week or so. Currently, it is at 96% of peg. Vouchers, not a whole lot of people talking about vouchers. You know, everyone's talking about SPS and Conclave Arcana, but the voucher supply, as you can see, over the last month really hasn't grown a whole lot. In the last 2 weeks, we've only added a total of 105,000 vouchers, and we print 40,000 a day, so we're only going up by a little over 7,000 vouchers a day. So Keelan Gaines must continue to be a very popular card, going by the amount of vouchers that are getting used on a daily basis. So currently still just over 14 million vouchers. But the big news, of course, is the SPS burning. So how much have we burned in the last couple weeks? Well, on April 12th, the last time I did the card market watch, we were sitting at 133 almost 0.8 million SPS total that had been burnt. And now we are up to 160.6 million. So in the last 15 days, we have burned 26.8 million SPS. So to put that in perspective, that is just under 1.8 million a day over the last 15 days. And you can see here how much SPS that we've burned over the last couple months, every 2 weeks. 36,052 as low as 18 and 16. Back when, of course, you can see DEC was much, much lower under peg. Of course, there was not any SPS burning back then. So we've really stepped on the gas as far as SPS burning has gone. We'll see if that continues. It looks like DEC is probably going to stay, I would say, above 90% of peg, it looks like. I don't see it dipping too much lower. Of course, after the pre-sale, we'll see how the tokens do, but so far so good. Things are looking great for SPS. All right, moving on to packs. So what have some of the older packs done in the last couple weeks? Not a whole lot of movement, especially when you get into like Alpha. Alpha is still currently just under $60 a pack in the marketplace. Only one pack was opened in the last 2 weeks. Beta is holding above 13. So as you can see, a couple months ago, we were sitting right around $10, $11 for beta packs. I think a lot of it was when they were in the reward chests as jackpot prizes. I think there's still 3, if I remember correctly, in the jackpot pool. But with Chaos Legion packs, Nightmare packs, and Rift Watcher packs added, those 3 beta packs will probably last for quite a while. But nonetheless, beta is still holding above $13 and still just above 20,000 total packs unopened. Untamed very consistent, is holding right around $7.50 a pack. And you can see over the last month or so, you know, we're opening about, 30 packs every couple weeks. Dice is still at $8 and 20 packs were opened over the last 2 weeks. Orb came down from $7.80 down to $7. Only 3 packs came off the market. And then Chaos Legion. So Chaos Legion is dipped down a little bit from a month ago when packs hit 65 cents. 49 cents. I think on Hive you can purchase them as cheap as 43 or 44 cents a piece. We are under 1.8 million total packs unopened. And you can see after that big rush about a month and a half ago when we were opening close to 40,000 packs every 2 weeks, things have settled down. People are now more focused, of course, on the new modern Conclave Arcana. So the pack opening has gone down a lot by Chaos Legion, but it still does continue to be opened at about, roughly 800 to 1,000 packs a day. Okay, Rift Watchers, the Forgotten set, sitting there still at $1.88 a pack. But look at this, over the last month and a half, here's almost 1,000 packs off the market, 336, another 1,000. So There's still a lot of Rift Watcher packs out there, still over 100,000, but they continue to be either opened or taken off the market. Okay, Rebellion. So Rebellion had a little bit of a slowdown in price over the last 2 months. You can see a couple months ago, we were at, what is that, $3.79, $3.69, going back a couple of months, just under $4. And then as soon as it sold out, give it a couple weeks, we started hitting $4.50, $4.70. We've come down to $4.44 currently. The number of packs circulating, the way that I look at it on Peak Monsters might be a little bit different than the other sites do it. I think what this total is the amount that are in circulation available to be opened. I think the amount that I see that's like 60 some thousand, that's probably including packs that are also on battle wagons. So those are kind of like, tied up or locked up or whatever, and maybe they don't count towards the circulating supply. But anyway, the way that I've been tracking it, over the last couple of months, you can see here over the last 2 weeks, it looks like we've opened almost 3,400 packs. And at this current rate, give it about 6 months and these packs will all be opened. Of course, we know they're not going to open, people aren't going to open every single pack, but the supply could dwindle very, very quickly, especially after Conclave Arcana is able to be opened, and then people start realizing, hey, you know what, there's some Rebellion cards that would go really well with this new set. I think I need to go get some cards off the market. Oh wait, there aren't any. Oh crap, I guess I got to buy some packs. So, not financial advice, but if you haven't got some Rebellion packs or gone to the market and at least gotten, I did a video on this a few days ago for my $10 account, just to get one common, one of each common and one of each rare, just to have a card to play, could be very, very beneficial. Okay, moving on to sets. So starting with Alpha. So what has Alpha done in the last 2 weeks? So we can see here after that price decline for the commons 2 weeks ago, where the low end was down to 27, it's come back up more normal to right around 43 cents for the cheapest common. The most expensive common listed is just over 4 at 4.25. Rares are in the $127 to $39 range. Epics sitting at $3.68 to $11.76. And your legendaries, $30 up to $599. Your gold foils, so I'm still waiting for the day when the gold foil commons hit $20 for a minimum, but it looks like it won't be for a while. $16 is your cheapest gold foil common, up to $800. And what I will mention, you can't see it here, but we'll go through it in part 2. Yes, there will be a part 2. I know I forgot last time and the time before my power went out. Where's some wood? Knock on wood. Power doesn't look like it's going to go out today. It's a nice day here. But the reason that I want to go through part 2 with you guys for the gold foil commons, these have really started to dry up. Not just the commons, but just all the different rarities. So you'll see how much fewer of these are on the market. In fact, I think this is the first time in quite a while that I've done the market watch where there's no gold foil legendaries at all for Alpha. So you can see the prices here, and the liquidity on these have really dried up. Not like there was a whole lot to begin with. Okay, going to the promo cards, your common promo came down from 14 to 6.45. The rare came down just a few cents from 10 to $9.88. The epic is no longer on the marketplace, and the legendary is at $4.99. And then for your gold foil Alpha promo cards, the only one available is the rare, and that is for $89. Okay, moving on to beta. So beta, you can see here, normal cards and all that. Regular foil looks like it's pretty much the same price ranges for the most part. 6 cents to $1.39 for your commons, 27 cents to $2.97 for your rares, 89 cents to $21.38. And we'll have to go through in part 2. This might be a multiple BCX copy. And then your legendaries, $6.40 up to $88. And for once, this is not Valnamor. This is a different card. The gold foils, you're looking at $2, is pretty much holding for the floor for gold foil beta commons, up to $23. Your rares, $9 up to $1,600, probably a buyout, and just one listed. Your gold foil epics, $39.50 to $15,000. And then your gold foil legendary beta cards from $390 up to just under $4,300. And then the beta promo cards, here's something to really look at. Your common, your Dragon Summoner is still holding at 65 cents. So it's come down from a month ago, you know, when they were shooting at like $1.20 for each card. Now you're down to 65 cents, still holding pretty strong. The rare is sitting at 35 cents, your epic at 279. Red Dragon, as you can see, this is for a single BCX. They've come up from, they were for quite a while, you know, $8-10 per BCX. Now they're up to 39. But look at Prince Julian and Archmage Arius. Let's scroll back a little bit just for some reference. You know, several months ago, they were, you know, multiple hundreds, you know, 700, 400, you know, then they hit 1,000. Then they came back down under 1,000. For the last month and a half, you know, flirting with 1,500. But look at it now. Prince Julian, $3,600, and Archmage Arius for $5,500 on the market. And then for your gold foil versions, none of the legendary cards are available for sale. The gold foil Dragon Summoner common card is still sitting there for 15. The rare is at 20, and then the gold epic is sitting at $1,000. Okay, Untamed. So Untamed, 2 cents to 48 cents for your commons, 7 to 60 cents for the rares, 22 to $1.29 for the epics, and then $1.98 to 46.75 for your legendary cards. The gold foil versions, you can still pick up gold foil commons for 65 cents from Untamed up to $55. Gold foil rares, $2.49 to $9.80. Gold foil epics, $13 to $220. And then your gold foil legendaries, $113.85 up to $1,000. So what have some of the key cards done in the set? So Kitty came down 2 weeks ago, was at 55, now it's at 46.75. Llama just came down a few cents from 29.60 to 29. Jotun still sitting there at 44.97, and then Kron is holding at $12 even. Your gold foil versions, and once again, these are very few on the market. We'll go through that in part 2, so you can see how few, if any, of the other gold foil legendaries are there. There is a gold foil kitty for $1,000, a llama for $9.90, a Jotun for $8.95, and the gold Kron is gone, along with many of the other gold foil legendaries. For your promo cards, the 3 cards, the Halfling Alchemist is sitting at $1.27. Chain Golem is up to $27, and Mighty Dricken is at $999. The gold foil versions, the Alchemist is up to $150, Chain Golem just under $200, and then there are no gold foil Mighty Drickens. All right, dice. So the normal cards, normal foil for dice, pretty much the same for the low end. 2 to 8 cents for the commons, 21 to 109 for the rares, 27 to $1 for the epics. So the epics have come down a little bit, and then your legendaries, $2.99 to $21.50. Your gold foils, 74 cents to $1.15 for the commons, 3.80 to 15.04 for the rares, 23 to 30 for the epics, and then 99.99 for the legendaries up to 7,500. Okay, orb. So your orb commons are still 6 to 9 cents. The rares 35 cents to $1.10. Epics 264 to 267 for the 2 cards. And then the legendaries $11.99 to $16.40. So the legendaries have seen quite a boost as we go back to the beginning of March. You can see they were trading, you know, $5 to $8. They pretty much doubled that in just the last month and a half, 2 months. Gold foil commons $2 to $11.50. Your rares $11.20 to $17. Gold foil epic, the only one listed once again is the wizard for $60. And then the gold legendaries are $400 to $800. So even though the normal foil legendaries have gone up, the golds have stayed pretty much the same price or come down a little bit. The Lord of Fire has disappeared off the marketplace though. So now it's just the Warlord for $400 and the Corrupted Pegasus for $800. All right, Chaos Legion. So this is for the core Chaos Legion set and the first round of reward cards, not the Soulbound. 1 to 6 cents for your commons, 2 cents to 35 for the rares, 10 to 23 for the epics, and then 54 cents to 422 for the legendaries. So pretty much the same as 2 weeks ago. The gold foil commons have rebounded slightly from where they were after that huge run up at the end of March. So 23 cents to 81 cents for a common, 95 cents to 4.30 for a rare, $4.62 to $9 for the gold foil epics, and then the legendaries back up to $30 is the floor. So they had come down after that big run up at the end of March, 32. 2 weeks ago they fell to just under 23. Now they're back up to 30 for the floor. So $30 to 100 for a gold legendary. And then your soulbound cards from Chaos Legion. This was interesting. There is a card there that's 4 cents, which I believe is under what it costs to unlock it. So if anyone's interested in that card, definitely check that out. But 4 to 29 cents for the commons, 24 cents to 90 for the rares, $1.96 to $2.94 for the epics, and then the legendaries are $6.60 up to $13.99. The gold foils, $1.65 to $76, and this is for a max copy. This is the only one on the marketplace. So it's at basically $2 per BCX or per card. So that's why it's $76. $6.80 to $38 for a rare, $19.99 to $75 for the epics, and then the legendaries, $118 is the cheapest, up to $1,500. And then your Chaos Legion promo cards. So the bear is sitting at 8 cents. Vruz is at 13 cents. Osher came down to $3.92. I think that's the cheapest I've seen that card. So great time to pick up Osher. Dr. Blight is holding above 12 at 12.17. Look at Zerial. Zerial has continued to drift, and now it is under $10. It's down to $9.17. Waka is sitting at $113, and then Lux Vega is sitting at $239.05. And here are the gold versions. So the bear is sitting at $1.88. Gold foil Vruz at $1.58. Gold foil Osher at $35.95. Gold foil Dr. Blight, $79.95. Gold foil Zerial. Even though the regular card has come down, you can see the gold foil is still holding pretty strong at $145. There is no Waka gold foil on the market currently, and there is one gold foil Lux Vega for $4,500. All right, Rift Watchers. So Rift Watchers, the normal regular foil version cards you can see are pretty much the same. The one card that I look at every time is just how Inevitable is doing. So you can see here the highest price card for the legendaries is $18.07, and that is Inevitable. So it's down from where it was 2 weeks ago at $25.25. The rest of the cards, I don't think there's really a whole lot of demand for them. You can see the prices are pretty much the same. Even the gold foils are really not any different than they were 2 weeks ago, with the exception of the gold foil legendary Inevitable is up from $145 to $200. So some good cards in Rift Watchers, but like I say, it's the forgotten set. I rarely, if ever, see these cards played, but there are some good cards in the set other than Inevitable. Okay, and then now for the most current set that is currently out is Rebellion. So your Rebellion commons continue to hold 6 cents to 37 cents for some of the higher end cards and the common summoners. Your rares, 11 cents to $1.78. Epics, 50 cents to $2.07. And then legendaries, $2.96 up to $63.35. The gold foils, 80 cents is your cheapest gold foil common, up to $5.48. Gold foil rares, $1.79 to $35. 35, this is for a copy of Moxian Rebel, I believe. Gold foil epics, $8.48 to $32.50. And then finally your gold foil Rebellion legendary cards range from $46 up to $4.49. And there's been a lot of movement in some of the legendaries. Okay, your soulbound cards from Rebellion, the current reward cards that we earn. Commons, 10 to 13 cents. Rares, 34 to 54 cents. Epics, 204 to 238. Legendaries, $10.10 up to $12.80. And then the gold foils, 227 to 290 for a common, $10 to $16.65 for a rare, and then $48 to $68.99 for an epic. And there are currently no gold foil legendaries. So going back to the core Rebellion, some of the key legendary cards. So Kai, just above $5, pretty much where it was 2 weeks ago. Arcane up slightly to 15. Rage came down from 24 down to 17. Darg came down from 1980 to 1734. Venka's under 30, went from 30.19 down to 26.99. Lorcas went up, and I believe this is for a single BCX, from 32 up to 45. Cryptic came down from 29.35 to 22.51. Tofu continues to sell above $60. It was 65. Currently it's $63.35. But the big winner this week is EMP. He has been on the move. You can see for a while he was 27, 25. 2 weeks ago settled under 20. He is now doubled. He is 39. This is for a single BCX, and I believe there was only 3 for sale on the market when I checked earlier this morning. Nidhogger, 1876 2 weeks ago, he's up to 21, and then Riskel Drath, Darth Squirrel, up from $14.34 up to just under 30 at $29.98. And then your gold foil versions, gold foil Kai is up to 97, gold foil Arcane is 105, Rage at 190, Darg down to 115.70. So this is a huge price drop if you see where Darg has been over the last couple of months. Now granted, these two back here for the 599 and 580 were max copies, but still, you know, single copies were close to $200. So surprisingly that it dropped down to 115. Maybe that's an opportunity for someone. Gold foil Venka is at 210. There are no gold foil Lorcas, at least not when I checked earlier today. Gold foil Cryptic is at 171. Tofu at $449. EMP, the regular foil doubled. The gold foil has only gone from 129 to 150. Nidhogger, 159. He's down to 148.50. And then finally, Riskel Drath came down from 250 to just under 225. And now for your promo cards, Grimbarden Smith is pushing back up towards $5 per card with the gold foil at 32. Mantaroth is sitting at just under $37 and the gold foil at 198. The Enforcer is at 75 cents with the gold foil version being 6. Baron Fiat has come down a little bit. You can see that slow decline over the last 2 months where it was like $8 per card. Now it's down to $4.10. But the gold foil is still holding at just under 60. Mana Warden, this is a card that I've seen a couple people talk about. Yes, it is a common. Yes, there's a lot of them out there, but I think for the new modern, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you have copies of Mana Warden at the level of league that you play in. This card is very, very useful with some of the new cards in Conclave Arcana. That's all I will say. So if you don't have Mana Warden, you may want to consider getting a Mana Warden. 16 cents for the regular foil and then $2.30 for the gold foil. Sanctus, look at the price jump here. This is for a single BCX, and I believe, shout out to, I think it's Baby Omega that is selling these. He is the only single BCX cards on the market at $9.99. I believe other than that, I think there was just one other card. It might have been max level. And then the gold foils are sitting at just under 34. Eleanor sitting at $56.99 with the gold foil at 500. Night Stalker, $3.30 for the regular foil, then $18 for the gold. Delia at 80 bucks and the gold foil at 500. Rune Anarchist sitting at $5 with the gold foil at 36.54. Rick, 80 bucks, gold foil Rick, can't find him. Can't find him, hasn't been there in ages. So if you can find a gold foil Rick, hang on to it. That is a rare puppy indeed. Maripot Mussbender, $1.96 and the gold foil at just under $19. Nefkit sitting at just under $38 with the gold foil at $407.50. Ulfka, Matt Clark's new favorite card, sitting at $16.99 with the gold foil at $160. Warborn Shaman at $3.30 with the gold foil at $17.90. So the regular foil has come down a little bit from that high 2 weeks ago. Fizbo still holding it above 35 at 37.45. No gold foils currently on the market. There are, I think, 4 Heloise the Hollow on the marketplace. $3,500 is the cheapest one. And then finally, Keelan Gaines sitting at $1.70 per card with the gold foil sitting at $12.49. And there you have it, guys. So a lot to talk about with the Market Watch. Like I said, the main focus, of course, this week has been Conclave Arcana and the SPS burning. So 26.8 million burned as of April 27th. We'll see 2 weeks from now. I don't expect this to be that amount over the next 2 weeks, but we'll see how much we burn. You know, it should be hopefully at least several million. So part 2 will be coming up soon. I'm going to take a quick break and take a drink, and then I will get to part 2 where we will do a deep dive into the market. We will look at the market. We will go set by set and just kind of, I will point out some cards that are underpriced, overpriced from where they have been, and we'll look at the liquidity, if any, of the cards on the market. So stay tuned for that in a little bit. And until then, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun. And have you gotten your cards in the pre-sale yet? Your packs? Maybe I should consider doing that. Okay, take care.